Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Patel, you're a fan of Drew Walton's, aren't you?
I'm a fan of all political figures.
Drew Walton, you even classify as your hero.
Yes, I would.
Sorry. And he is your favorite political figure, isn't he?
One of many.
And on the day you met him, September 24th, 2006, was one of the most exciting days of your life, wasn't it?
Besides today, it was.
But you didn't actually meet Mr. Walton, did you, Mr. Patel?
We didn't shake hands, if that's what you're referring to.
Actually, you just came upon him by chance, taking up the trash.
I guess you could say it was by chance.
And at that time, when you came upon Mr. Walton, you were outside.
I was.
It was approximately 9:45 at night.
About that.
It was dark out.
Yes.
There weren't many lights in the Civic Center.
There was a few.
It was very cloudy.
Partially cloudy.
And you would even classify it as hard to see.
It was marginally difficult.
And at this point, you were 50 feet away from Lane Hamilton and Drew Walton, isn't that correct?
Something like that. I didn't take a tape measure or anything, but...
But you were about 50 feet away.
I'm guessing.
And at that time, you saw Mr. Walton and Mr. Hamilton,
Yes.
and you heard Mr. Hamilton specifically say, "I know Gerald Walton, and you, Drew Walton, are no Gerald Walton." Is that correct? Question calls for hearsay.
Response.
Your Honor, this is not going towards the truth of what was stated, merely the effect on the listener. And just to repeat the question, you specifically heard Mr. Hamilton say, "I know Gerald Walton, and you, Drew Walton, are no Gerald Walton," correct?
I did hear this.
And that's when you saw Mr. Hamilton holding a gun,
About then, yes.
and you turned your back on both Drew and Lane,
For a mere moment.
and you jogged even farther away.
I took a few steps.
So by this time, you were farther than 50 feet away from the two men.
5 foot or two.
And you heard two gunshots,
Yes.
with your back still facing the Civic Center, away from the men.
Yes.
And then you waited an entire 30 seconds to turn around and face them.
Something like that.
Something like that, or 30 seconds?
About 30 seconds. I wasn't
Okay.
timing it.
And so you didn't see either gunshot.
I guess I didn't.
You didn't see either man shoot the gun.
I saw Lane Hamilton with the gun just prior to the first gunshot.
And while that is very good, Mr. Patel, just to redirect your attention back to my question, you didn't see either man shoot the gun.
I guess I didn't.
And a few moments later, the Civic Center was crowded, or the parking lot of the Civic Center was crowded, right?
Yes, it was.
There were a lot of reporters, and it was a mob.
I wouldn't necessarily call it a mob, but it was busy.
And although there were lots of reporters on the scene, you specifically wanted to speak with Reagan Thomas.
I went up to him, yes.
And that's because you recognize Reagan Thomas as being an interviewer to lots of celebrities.
Yes.
And you said, went up to Reagan Thomas and specifically said, "I saw everything."
I think so.
You told Reagan Thomas that you saw Lane Hamilton commit suicide.
I might have. I don't really remember exactly word for word what I said.
Would you like me to refresh your memory?
No, I'm good.
In that case, you told Reagan Thomas that you saw everything that happened. Lane Hamilton committed suicide. Drew Walton didn't do it. Isn't that correct, Mr. Patel?
Something like that, yes.
Again, Mr. Patel, you said specifically
Yes, I did.
that Lane Hamilton committed suicide.
I did.
But you didn't see that happen.
I saw enough to make the necessary conclusion,
So you made an assumption.
if you want to call it that.
And then you used that false assumption to go and tell Reagan Thomas that you saw Lane Hamilton commit suicide.
I was just giving what I was determining.
But you didn't see Lane Hamilton commit suicide, did you?
I guess I didn't.
In that case, you lied to Reagan Thomas.
I would
If
first.
you did not see Lane Hamilton commit suicide,
I guess I didn't.
but you told him you did anyways.
I did.
Thank you, Mr. Patel.
Further?
No, Your Honor, not at this time.
Redirect?
No.
Thank you.